Welcome to this week's edition of the Frigid Sports Scoop Coaches Show. And my right-hand man, Teddy Hammond. And one thing they aren't going to say about us, Teddy.
What's that, buddy?
We got dedication.
We really do.
Up in this weather.
Yeah, and then you get
below.
A frickin' train sitting there for me, and holy cow! But I got my bottle with
Teddy
me.
Teddy gave us both a shot of heat before the show, so
we're ready to roll, baby. Let's go get
working.
Yep.
Well, let's get into boys basketball, Teddy. And you had a couple of good stern tests during the week.
Yeah, we were 2-0.
Bulldogs.
We were 2-0 after the beginning of the year there, but now it's 2-2.
WEM and St. Clair both having good seasons.
Yep, and then we got Nurhague on Monday, so we're looking in the middle of a 3-game stretch there that probably isn't envied by a lot of teams. We go with Waterville right away. Had them Monday night, and they came out just gunning. They hit their first 5 shots, and all of a sudden it was like 11-0 in about 50 seconds, game over, real quick. They put on a full court press, and we didn't react to it real well, and then they called it off sooner or later, but it was over with in the first minute. They just dominated us right away, and we fought back second half, but first halftime score was, geez, I got all kinds of stuff here. It was 43-20, and in the second half it was 31-29, but they called off the Dogs, and Wags is real good to us. But for the game, you know, we said we're going to be a good team, we got to be a good team. Well, we can't beat really good teams, and Waterville came out in really good form that night. They're a testament to their team. Not doing it. It's okay. Not to give Waterville a lot of credit, but they had 3 guys in doubles, and they're led by Olson, and he's the real deal. He had 2 threes, and then he can go inside and dominate you inside. And then Dorn Kemper was hitting threes, and then the Teigmeyer was hitting threes, and Gross was hitting threes, and it was not a fun night as far as that goes. It was a home game, and we wanted to show a little bit better, but we didn't. So we put that in the bank. We did have a nice highlight with Josh Janicki. Really good man-to-man defense. Josh came through with 17 points. And we had 8 guys score, but it just wasn't enough. 49 points, not going to beat a team like that. And they were hitting on all cylinders, like I said. Then we had to turn around and go Thursday night to St. Clair. And St. Clair just had a big write-up in the Free Press about how they're having a great season with the boys and girls. They had just Brandon Goebel just over 1,000 points, and he went about 22 more than that against us. And they came out, scored 36-32 with about 9 minutes to go in the game, and really a good game. And then we went in a drought. We just could not hit the broadside of a barn. They couldn't match up with us man to man. So they went to zone against us, and we have trouble scoring against some really active zones. And like I said, it's 36-32, and then the final score ended up being 59-37. So you stop and think, holy cow, they outscored us 23-5. And it wasn't like we weren't taking bad shots, or we're taking bad shots. We weren't. We're taking good shots in the realm of the offense and just couldn't put it in the ocean in the last 9 minutes. And then the really bad news was we lost one of our little spark plugs, Tommy Gannon. For those of you who know, he's a leading rusher in the football team, and his favorite sport is baseball. And just a 3-sport, all-around really great kid. And he breaks his ankle about 9 minutes to go in the game. And I remember seeing it. I've had a lot of injuries in my career, but when I looked at him, he wasn't just white. He was like a gray white, and we knew it was serious as soon as I went out on the court. And they went to the emergency room, and they diagnosed it, and a fractured fibula, and he's going to have some pins and stuff put in it. It's not a good break. So in his favorite sport's baseball, they said 3 to 5 months recovery. Knowing Tommy, it'd be 3. But it was just a sad, sad night for us. So we're going to have to regroup on that, and we just had practice. This is Sunday morning. We had practice last night, Saturday night, getting ready for Nurhague. And we're going to open it up again. So we're just going to go full court pressing, and we still have good chemistry. We have the kids are still buying into the program. So we're just going to go out there and see what we can do against Nurhague. And obviously they got the Oakley Baker, and I guess Raymond's not going to be playing according to the kids. Okay, now this is a rumor mill out there, but they're saying he's not going to be playing against us, so that helps. You don't have a 6'8" guy, but then they got the other guy, Olson, 6'6", so we'll see how we do with him.
I think Grant did say that to me too. He said, tell Teddy at least he won't have to deal with the big guy. Yeah,
well, we'll go out there and see what we can do, but then we got Friday night next week with, let's see, I always get TCU mixed up with a bunch of other teams, but we're going to be going against Martin County West, MCW. And it's going to be a cancer night for us. I'm a survivor, so we're going to have like Kroomkakas against cancer. If you've ever had a Kroomkaka before, we're going to shoot half-court shots, and anybody makes a half-court shot gets a Kugath made by me. I'm gonna have to whip them up today in the kitchen. I got nothing else to do in this cold weather, so I'm gonna make some batch of Kugaths, and we're gonna go out there and we're gonna ban the can and get rid of cancer and all this other good stuff. So we got a cancer night coming up and a home game. We're gonna make it into a big festivity. Other than that, that's it.
Bulldogs 3-10 for the season,
Yep.
and a couple tough ones coming up again
Yep,
this week.
Yep. Well, we're going to be improving. This is the team to do it against.
You bet. NRHEG, Teddy, they are 10-6 for the year now, who you'll be going against Monday. They defeated Blooming Prairie 64-36 and defeated USC 68-38 over the weekend.
Yeah, that looks good, doesn't it?
Yeah. So even without the big man, they're apparently putting a few points up on the board. WEM, who you also played last week, 12-3. Another great year for Wags and the crew. They defeated you, as they mentioned, 74-49, and then they bounced Medford on Friday night. Thursday, they will go to Triton, and they'll be heavy favorites in that one as well. So the Bucks just reload every year and keep on coming, don't they?
Well, we'll see. Okay, we haven't played them yet.
You played the Bucks.
I'm talking Nurhagen.
I
just got Nurhagen in my mind.
You just got drilled by the Bucks.
Yeah, we do. Okay, I'm thinking Nurhagen. Yeah. Okay.
And Waseca had just a one-game week. They went down to Fairmont on Friday night and defeated Fairmont 65-55 on the Cardinals' home court. That improved the Jays to 12-5 for the season. They'll be off until Thursday when they make the trek to St. James, a team they defeated by 17 points earlier. But we don't want to mention that because they defeated St. Peter by 21 points earlier and got beat. So you got to be ready to go every night.
That's what the Mankato Mavericks said.
Girls basketball, Teddy, JWP, they're nearing that 500 mark now. They're up to 6-8 overall. They lost to Waterville 77-33 and then bounced back and beat Madelia 74-33. Yep. So they are 6-8 JWP. Tuesday, they have a tough one when Mankato Loyola comes to town, featuring Lindsay Thunick.
She's healthy again.
Yes. NRHEG, the Lady Panthers, having a nice season so far. They are 12-4 for the year. They defeated Blooming Prairie 63-43 and defeated USC 63-59. I saw that the Fire and Ice duo, Maddie and Marty, had 23-18 or something, 27-21, something like that against USC.
They're over 40 combined, I know that. Yep.
So 12-4 for the Panthers. Tuesday night, they travel to Blue Earth. That'll be a good test for them on the road. WEM, Gabe Hauer's crew has 7 straight wins now. Remember, they were 4-3 at one time. They're now 11-3 for the year. They defeated Blue Earth 46. No, they lost to Blue Earth, I believe. No, they beat Blue Earth 46-42.
Andy,
quit arguing with yourself.
The eyes are getting to be like yours, Andy. They beat Blue Earth 46-42. They defeated JWP, as we mentioned, and then they crunched Medford 57-46. But I understand they were actually behind that game at halftime against Medford and came back and beat them. So 11-3 for Gabe Hauer's Buccaneers.
Defense. He's got that defense.
And Tuesday, interesting battle shaping up. WEM at Waseca. And the Lady Jays, they've run into some hard times too. They are now 9-6 for the season. They lost to Waconia, a pretty good team, 73-62 on the road, and then they just buried Fairmont at home Friday, 58-27. And talking to Hafe the other night, and he said, boy, they were just shooting the heck out of the ball the first half. They were really hot.
All the youngsters.
Yep. So Joni's crew kind of survived that mid-season crisis now, 9-6 overall, and Tuesday will be interesting to see when the Lady Buccaneers come to Waseca for a border battle.
What's the cost of corn? Buccaneer. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Boys hockey team, the Waseca boys hockey team, they have lost 6 of their last 7 games. They are 5-10 for the year. They lost to Faribault 6-1. They lost to Mankato East 8-3. And yesterday they lost to Laverne 9-0. So the Jays are struggling. They're pretty young and inexperienced, and it's starting to show against the better teams.
You must be watching the Wild.
5-10 overall. They will play Thursday at Fairmont, a team they beat 5-1 earlier. The girls hockey team saw their streak come to an end. They had won 6 straight games. They are now 12-8-1 for the year. They defeated St. Peter for the second time this season, 2-0. They defeated Worthington 10-0. And then yesterday lost to Laverne 3-1. I think the first time they played, they lost 4-3 in overtime. And I think maybe Laverne and Waseca are the 2-3 teams in the Big South Conference.
Was that at home or away?
That was at home yesterday.
Okay.
They will play Tuesday at Albert Lee, a team they tied 2-2 early in the season. 12-8-1 for the Lady Jays hockey team. Gymnastics, Teddy, get your crib sheet out. Here comes Mr. Gymnastics himself. The Jays did finish last week after we were on the air. They finished 9th out of 11 teams at New Prague. Then they went over to Mankato on Tuesday. They lost to both Cato East and Cato West.
A little triangular, yep.
And then Thursday they had Blue Earth, and they won, and Teddy even has the score.
Yeah, it was 124.825 to 114.025, and that .025 meant nothing. Okay, it needed that .825. I don't know why they do that stuff, but they do. But we have these Petrie sisters, Hannah and Samantha, and apparently they led the way, and then they have a Shelby Wolf and a Cambria Nissen. And apparently they picked up for the Petries, and they fell down a little bit on a couple of the apparatus things there. And then they had, let's see,
Don't get so technical.
they had 3 meets in 6 days, after going about 1 a month there.
Yeah.
And then they got, next up, they got on the 22nd, they got a home meet against New Ulm.
You're
right here in the Waseca WISDM. Yep, I'll be there with my stopwatch to see.
Video camera, stopwatch.
Yep. And then I'll get my calendar out to see when the final results get in there. But
You could sing the national anthem, too.
I could do that also. But that's it for the gymnastics report. So, Scott Young, keep going out there, buddy, and build on that Blue Earth win.
5-4 for a young gymnastics squad, and Friday New Ulm comes to town.
Okay.
Wrestling teams. The Blue Jays first, Waseca Blue Jays. They are 5-4 overall. They had a couple of triangulars during the week. On Tuesday, they were in St. Clair. They beat St. Clair. They lost to Sibley East. And then they also went to Blue Earth during the week. They lost to Blue Earth. They defeated NRHEG. So they are 5-4 overall. They will be in action Friday at Maple River against the Eagles and Faribault.
Okay. We can take down the Falcons and who else? Maple River Eagles.
Maple River Eagles.
Okay.
The Grizzlies, 4-8 for the season. They defeated Cato East and lost to Faribault in a triangular. 4-8 overall. Tuesday they have a duel at St. Peter.
Yeah, them wrestlers got the guys, they got their weights down now to where they want to be.
And NRHEG, they are 3-5 for the season. As we mentioned, they were in Blue Earth with Waseca. They lost to both the Bucks and Waseca. Thursday night, they will travel to Hayfield and wrestle Hayfield and Zambroda Mazeppa. The Blue Jay wrestlers were in Hayfield yesterday, could find nothing. The Panther wrestlers were down in Lake Mills, Iowa yesterday, and nothing was posted as of yet. But
Pony Express didn't come out of Iowa yet. You got to wait for it.
Yeah, not be there. But that's a rundown on our local high school scene.
Did we get the boys' hockey?
Yep, we did.
I got drilled.
I was sleeping.
Andy, just keep the switch on and hold the comments to yourself. All you do is run the camera.
I enjoy it, Andy. You talk all you want, buddy.
MSU, Minnesota State. Teddy.
Yep.
The men's basketball team lost to Bemidji State, defeated Crookston. They are 12-5 for the season.
They're talking about last time Morgenthaler had lost 3 out of 4 games. Like 2012 or something. Yep. I don't know when it was, but that doesn't happen very often. They're in the funk right now.
The girls, the women at MSU, they are 5-10 for the year. They defeated Bemidji State, and they lost to Crookston in overtime on a last-second shot, we understand. We think there was a little misprint in the free press, but they did lose.
Yeah. Should we give the people out there a little bit of history lesson?
Sure.
You remember what 2 schools were going to get on a chopping block for colleges, and then all of a sudden they said we'll save one and chop the other one off?
No.
It was Crookston and UMW. Okay. University of Minnesota Waseca, remember? And they were both 2-year schools. And he said, we got to cut $6 million in the budget, so we're getting rid of Waseca, and Crookston's going to go to a 4-year school. That could be us.
Could be.
Doggone it all.
And
I do have an update on the Waseca wrestling. If you would have asked me before the show, they came in third out of 12 teams at the Hayfield Invitational yesterday.
okay,
All right.
good to know. Third out of 12.
That's it.
And the MSU men's hockey team, they tied and lost to Northern Michigan. I believe they're still in first place in the WCHA by 3 points.
Yep, they are.
They are 11, 8, and 5 for the year.
And Hastings he's struggling this year. He just can't find the right combination in lines, but he'll put it together by the time tournament time comes around.
They'll be home against Lake Superior next weekend.
Frigid.
The Gusties, Teddy.
Yep.
The men's basketball team 5 and 9, struggling a little. They lost to Carleton yesterday in overtime. They will be at St. John's on Wednesday. A long trip up north.
Yep. Go see the Johnnies.
The women's basketball Gusties 11 and 4 for the year. They defeated Carleton. They will play Wednesday at St. Benedict.
You ever been to Carleton College?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you bet.
So have I.
And the men's hockey team at Gustavus 3, 9 and 2. They lost to Superior this weekend. They will be at St. Olaf on Friday. A lot of times in that league they play Friday at one school and then the same two schools come back to the other one on Saturday. So
I like that.
yeah,
Good.
you always get a home game then during the weekend.
Yep.
The Gophers. I know you wait for the Gophers, Teddy.
You talking about baseball? What are you talking about?
The mighty men's basketball team.
Boy, talk about falling tough times.
After a pair of 25-point losses, they battle undefeated Indiana right down to the wire before losing 70-63, 7 straight losses.
Well, when you got a player like Yogi Ferrell, I watched his highlight film there, and they were really sluggish. And then Yogi said, "We're not losing this game," and it was at the barn.
At the barn.
Yep. And then they showed a guy from Minnesota that had his finger going the wrong way. That was really classic to look at. But what do you say? You know, they've lost 9 out of 10, and they don't have a conference win, and it's kind of, I've been there, and it's tough. It's tough to get the guys' daubers up and keep motivated. But Patino is learning now that the other side of the coaching, it's fun when you're up on top, but when you're down the bottom, you learn a lot about yourself, and he's learning right now.
Dad was in the stand yesterday.
Yeah.
Amazing how he can work a full schedule for Louisville and still get the most of his kids' games to watch.
You have to admire that.
Yeah.
You really do.
Yeah. The Gophers 7 straight losses. They're 6 and 12 for the year. Chances of a Big Ten victory are becoming slimmer and slimmer. I see Rutgers has not won a game in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
That might be the big chance.
That's going to be it.
They will play Wednesday night at Michigan. The Lady Gophers, 10 and 6 overall. They lost to Michigan, lost to Purdue. Purdue, I think, is one of the teams on top of the Big Ten. Carly did have 21 against Purdue. She's having a fabulous year for a sophomore, averaging right around 20 a game. Boy, that's fun to watch. Today they will host Indiana up in the cities.
What's fun to watch is she stayed close to home,
Yeah.
so that everybody around this area can go watch her play.
And made no bones about it.
Yep,
Wanted to be a Gopher from the time she was little and stuck with that.
My hat's off to her for that.
Yep. The men's hockey team, I believe they're 10 and 10 for the year. They beat Michigan State on Friday. They had a late game last night. Didn't see that score. They will make that trip to Wisconsin next weekend, and that's always a tough place to win at.
Yep, Lucky Badger.
And the women's hockey team, they are 19 and 3 for the year, Teddy, having another great year. But the Minnesota State Mavericks battled them tooth and nail, lost 3-2 on Saturday night.
1 goal.
To the mighty Gophers, and the Mavs' record is about opposite of the Gophers. So
That was fun to see.
hats off to them. I think they wrap up that series today. And then the Gophers go to St. Cloud State next weekend. Teddy, we got to talk a little about the mighty football playoffs.
They're going on?
New England 27.
No.
Kansas City 20.
We're not starting with that.
Yes, we are,
No,
Teddy.
we're not. We're starting
Teddy,
with,
I'm the moderator. You do what you're told.
Okay.
And I'm running the camera.
We aren't starting. We're just mentioning the score first.
I thought we'd go with Clemson and Alabama. That's what I thought we'd start off with.
Well, see, that's
You
why
got that
I have
down
to,
on there?
That's why I have to put all this work in the night before, Teddy, to get this schedule right. New England 27, Kansas City 20,
Yep.
and Arizona 26, the mighty Pac-20 in overtime.
Another Hail Mary pass.
Another Hail Mary pass, falling backwards, rolling the opposite way.
You have to admire that. You really
Well,
do.
you see that happen, and isn't everybody saying, those lucky Packers are going to pull off another one? And boom, the overtime, and it's over.
Yes, Fitzgerald, he's the real deal. He's showing everybody, don't overlook me at my old age.
And Tom Brady just keeps getting better.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, the guy just completes everything.
Well, he wants to, what did he say? He wants to play another 10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. Really? No, really. The guy is taking good care of his body, and he's doing all this stuff, with the body massages or whatever, and all this mind stuff, and hey, he's ageless right now.
Well, what do you think today, Teddy? Pittsburgh at Denver?
I like Pittsburgh.
Seattle at Carolina.
They say Roethlisberger's going to play. I watched him go down last week, and I didn't think he's going to be able to play. It looked like he'd separated his shoulder, and then he comes back in and leads the winning drive. And I don't know. Peyton Manning, I think he's at the end of his road. It'd be nice to see him go out with the Super Bowl.
I think he's going to have a big game today.
Okay.
I just feel that's my gut feeling.
If John Elway had any talk with him, that's what Elway did. Got a Super Bowl, and that was it. He got out of there. Their second Super Bowl. But, it's going to be a great game, and it'll be nice weather. It'll be cold weather. It's just fun. These playoffs, you can't write a script. You just can't write a script for them.
How about if the Vikes in Seattle would have been playing today?
Oh, my God.
Up in the cities with 40 below wind chill.
Or the Packers had had a game.
Yeah.
With Arizona and Packer Lambeau. Jeez Louise. But, hey, it was fun to watch.
It was fun.
It was. And then today, now we got Carolina. What do you think with Carolina?
Everybody's picking Seattle.
Yep.
They really are, even though they're the underdog. And I don't know. I haven't been a Carolina fan all year long. I haven't really jumped on the bandwagon, but the few times I've seen them at the end, I've been really impressed.
I have too.
Newton makes big plays, and their defense is good.
He's definitely the MVP.
Yeah.
And so we'll see if he proves it today.
Can't stand him when he scores a touchdown or does something.
No.
I mean, come on, fella. Act like you've done it before in your life.
Now
it's a 5-minute production up and down the sidelines.
And you know what the last thing is he does? They call it the dab. Okay, the other day when we won a ball game, I had to do the dab in the locker room for the boys. Okay, so I had to look it up online to see what the dab is. Okay, so you kind of stick your arm out like this and go like this. Okay, and you just kind of kiss your armpit or something. I don't know what you do. But
you knew they were going to ask you, so you could.
I had no idea. And they said, "Do the dab quiz."
You said, "Just a minute, I got to go check my computer."
Yeah, I have no idea what it is. And they said, "Well, this is what you do." Okay. Yeah.
You show them how to make cream pies.
Yes, I do, baby.
Okay, Clemson, Alabama. A great title game. If you're a fan, you had to love that because there was a lot of scoring, but you knew both of those defenses were really good.
Yep. And then that many points, but how about that onside kick? Talk about a gutsy call.
Yep.
And Saban was rewarded for it, but that was just a fun game. I wasn't going to stay up and watch the end of it, and I said, God, you got to watch the end of it.
There was no head bobbing during that one.
Nope.
Us old people could stay awake and watch it.
And there was the old Sports Illustrated cover jinx again. Probably didn't notice that, but Deshaun Watson was on the cover the week before Adrian Peterson was, and both of them went down in defeat. So I got to say something about that Sports Illustrated cover.
Great title.
I just don't want to ever be on that cover.
Yeah.
Well, Teddy, your Minnesota Wild are into a little bit of a
Oh,
skid.
my Lord.
4 straight losses, 2 straight shutout losses.
These are one of 2 teams that had been shut out going into Friday night.
Lost to Nashville 3-0 last night after a 1-0 loss on Friday night.
Winnipeg Jets, yep.
22, 14, and 8 for the year.
Hey, Mike Yo's just pulling his hair. Well, I guess he doesn't have hair to pull it. Okay.
But I wish every game would start in overtime.
I
love
do
that
too.
3-on-3.
I do too.
Just love it. Not good for the Wild because they don't seem to win, but
Not
it's
good
fun
for
to watch.
not so good for coaches, pacemakers
No.
either. When you're, God, boom, it's over.
The Wild will be out on their West Coast trip this week. I think Wednesday at Anaheim, and then Friday and Saturday San Jose and somebody else
LA
out there.
Kings, I think.
Yep. So they are having a winning season, but boy, it's tough to make any headway in that division they're in.
It's tough.
Yep. The Timberwolves are falling and falling now, Teddy. 12 and 29, 9 straight losses.
Yep. I think the Flip Saunders, window for
Aura
Flip
has worn off.
it's gone.
Yep. Yep. They're just, they do have so many young guys, and it really looks like those guys are just out of college, and their college season would be completed now about with the number of games, and they do look tired.
Did you watch the Houston game at all?
Didn't see much of that one.
Harden gets every call you can imagine.
I can't stand Harden.
And Wiggins goes down and gets mauled two times in a row. And I'm partial, obviously, to the Timberwolves, but why you have to build up your status and reputation in the NBA before you get any calls, I don't know. But Wiggins should have been going to the line twice. Doesn't go to the line at all. Harden comes down, and it was a close game, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, his free throws, ball game's over. And I don't know about you, but I hate that beard.
I can't. I'm not a Harden man.
For basketball, this is not for beards, but he's good.
Every drive to the basket, he leans into the guy, and he gets the call.
And then steps back. Yeah, he's a craftsman. He's a Hall of Famer.
Today, Phoenix will be in town as the Wolves try to snap that 9-game skid.
And what is 25 below and 40 below wind chill? Okay, let's see how Phoenix has that baby is. We play a little outdoor ball, baby.
Well, that'll do it for my agenda, Teddy.
I got my agenda.
Want to mention a little sleigh and cutter coming up.
Yeah, we got the polar plunge.
There will not be one this year.
What?
So, Mr. Sleigh and Cutter, take that.
What?
So I got a shirt that's going to be worth a lot of money.
There'll be no polar plunge and no ice harvest.
Wow.
No ice harvest?
Spoken from Mr. Sleigh and Cutter himself, Kenny Borglum.
He's the man.
Friday night, inform me of that.
That's sad.
Borgman.
That is really sad. That's why I wore it today, because I saw the medal hunts on, all right? And then they'll have Who's Frosty, and then they'll have the Cribbage tournament. That's sad.
Yeah, he told me there'll be no polar plunge and no ice
Did he say why?
He just said it was so warm that they were worried about the ice thing. And he said, of course, now it would have been fine, but he said the ice harvest thing is...
It doesn't have any.
It doesn't make any money anyway, so I mean, it's just something for the kids. And
well, no, I'm deflated.
I knew you would be. I thought of you right away.
You can still do it.
I thought of shrinkage and Teddy and right off the bat.
Yeah. What year was this? Does it say?
2010.
Okay, that was the inaugural one, folks. 2010, because I was in on that baby.
Because you and Jackie Krause both plunged in the inaugural one.
Yep, and I'm still suffering from the shrinkage factor. So I don't recommend it to anybody out there, okay? That's not the place I'd want to be.
If you have any signs of heart problems, probably not recommended either.
Well, I shouldn't do that either. Okay. Well, that's really depressing.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it'd been a lousy week, and then we ended with that news. Well, let's get this show over with.
Hey, that'll do it for this week's show. Thanks to Steve and Hudson for producing the show. Thanks to my right-hand man, Teddy, Mr. Frosty Hammond. And thanks to you for watching. Hopefully, if all goes well, we'll be back next week.